Hello everyone. This is the orientation to module 1 and I'm going to do this in two parts. So this is part 1. I'm going to go to module 1 and you'll see that there's a little introduction here and there's a calendar and then the 4 weeks of module 1 are listed and then finally there's the directions for project 1. Since Project 1 is integrated into weeks 2, 3, and 4, I'm going to talk about Project 1 first, and then I'll make a new video that will go over everything related to the 4 weeks in the module. So this is a link to Project 1 and the directions for that. And you'll see that there is an overall set of directions here. And the way that this is going to work is we're going to work on the engage and explore during weeks 2 and 3. Then during week 3, we'll work on the explain. And then during week 4, we'll finish up and work on the elaborate and the evaluate. So these 5 sections correspond with the 5 E's of inquiry-based learning. So this part right here describes what inquiry-based learning is, and there's some things that you can read about inquiry-based learning. So be sure to go through that. And then over here on the left, you'll see that there are directions for each of the 5 sections of the project. And then there's a link to get to your team discussion areas for the project and some instructions for keeping food records. So let me just go through each of these 5 sections. So for the first section, there are some pages that you'll be reading in your textbook, and then there are 4 discussion questions here. So that's what you're going to be focusing on for the discussion that goes with this engage part of Project 1. So be sure to read through those directions, and I'll tell you how to get to your discussion area for this in just a minute. Let me just go through and show you the explore. So again, you're going to be reading a little bit in your textbook. There's some online readings. And then you're going to be looking at the Youth Risk Behavior Survey. So there's some information here about that. And you'll be looking at data that's online. And then the discussion directions are right here. So you're going to be answering question number 7 up in this section right there. So that's the explore. So those would be the 2 discussions that you'll be working on for Project 1 during week number 2 and into week number 3. Here's the explain directions. Again, there's some reading that you can do. I'm only asking that you do 1. You don't have to look at all of these. And then there's some information in your textbook and some other information to learn how to use MyPlate, which is an online diet analysis and diet assessment program from the government. So there's all different kinds of information and fun tools that you can look at here and use with your students. And I'm going to ask that you analyze a 1-day food record. So this is just a typical food record from a young person. So that information is there. You can practice using the choosemyplate.gov. and enter that information. And there's all the directions on how to do that. So just read through these step by step, looking at the screen captures, and you'll do just fine. So the discussion for that is here. So the questions are all here. So go ahead and read through that and participate in that discussion during week 3. And then during week 4, you're going to be looking at some lesson plans and some ideas for using MyPlate and diet analysis with your students. And you're going to be designing your own little short activity to go along with what we're learning in this inquiry-based learning project. So this is going to be something short. It's not an entire unit. It's just going to be an activity that you'll be doing perhaps in an hour or just a day or 2 with your own classroom. And then you'll be posting that to others. So that's what the elaborate discussion will be. You'll be posting your lesson to the other people in the class. And I did note here, this is really designed to be an individual assignment. If you want to work on this with someone else by designing an activity with somebody else in the class, that's fine too. And then finally, the evaluate section is just giving a short plan telling us how you would evaluate your own particular lesson from what you designed in the elaborate section. Okay, so each of these 5 different sections have a discussion that goes along with them. Now, to get to that discussion, you'll click on Team for Project 1, and again, there's a little timeline here, so you'll just go ahead and click to launch and find your particular team, the one that you're enrolled in. You can see I'm not enrolled in Team B, so right now I happen to be enrolled in Team A, and it has a group discussion board. So just like our main discussion board for the class that's over here, there's this smaller discussion board that's just for your team. So you'll see the 5 discussions that go along with the project here, and these are all just repeats of what's already in the directions for the engage, explain, explore, etc. sections. So this is all just repeated again. So you'll just go and click, and then you can create a thread and participate in that engaged discussion there. And then during weeks 2 and 3, you can continue with the explore discussion. Week 3 has the explain discussion. And finally, in week 4, you'll do the elaborate and evaluate. Now, one other thing that I would like to show you, rather than going into Module 1, I'm going to show you the long way to get back there, and going to Project 1, and then clicking on your team discussion for Project 1, and then launching your board, and clicking again, and clicking again to get to all the discussions. All you have to do is go down to your project area, Project 1 area, and you can click right on that to go to the discussion board. And of course, if you just want to see the home page for your team, then you can look here and go to the group discussion board that way. So that's the shortcut. You can just get through that through your My Groups area down here in the left frame. So I believe that's all that I wanted to show you related to Project 1. And I will now go through and make another video that's related to Module 1 altogether. Enjoy doing Project 1.